And it was more than 10 years ago.
12 and a half.
Yeah. So the first time the four of us together was 2009, February of 2009.
So I kept having these conversations initially with you, and then with Zach, and then as Jeremy, as we talked to you and you started orbiting into this, then we all started having these conversations of, man, this is where I think God's called us to be. And I remember you said something to me that just kind of shook me. You went, I knew when I signed up, I was signing up to change my future. I just didn't know what it was going to look like.
Yeah. I had to really do some soul searching to find out where God wanted me to be. Because I was, I had my business and, working the business, the hours I was working. So it was really interesting to say like, hey, God, where do you want me to be? And it was kind of like, okay, we'll sell the business. You're going to get married, spend time with family and church plant all at the same time. So
you had some spare time, right?
Just a little bit.
It was that spring that we started meeting at my place.
Yeah.
So we'd have every Monday night, we'd have dinner, and it was 2011 when we actually were planted. So from spring of 2009 till spring of 2011, we were kind of in that preparatory planning phase.
Yeah. In the fall of 2010, we had another site that we were going to start trying to gather a group together with. And we were about 3 weeks out from that, and that venue fell through.
Every time we tried something downtown, it didn't work. Every single time.
I had done pulpit supply at Providence Baptist, which is where the building where we're at now. And they said, well, if we could ever do anything, let us know. And so I called them up, and they ended up being super encouraging for us. I think, we ended up renting space for Sunday nights. I think we paid $25 a month.
$25 a month.
And they gave us keys and just said, hey, just have fun, whatever,
Yeah.
And then we did a Saturday night service once a month too.
And we were right at the beginning of fundraising when we were given the building. So it was kind of like, well, we are going to do this Bible study thing for a while so that we can do fundraising. So when they offered us the building, the biggest reason we didn't jump at it was because we literally had no money. We just had 4 incomes.
Whatever we could do with our families, be like, well, we'll still tithe to this, but that's really it. You know?
And with what we were making it,
at the time, it's
all right, $25 a month was about right.
I look back and I'm just like, wow, God just totally orchestrated so many things that we couldn't do. Everybody in church planning was like, oh, you gotta have a big launch and you gotta do this and do this, but we had no money for any of that type of stuff. It didn't really resonate with our hearts,
with who
in
we
a lot
were
of ways either.
Yeah.
And so we just kept worshiping on Sundays, and I remember sitting there going like, man, people are showing up.
I don't know if anyone else knows this, but you're the one that came up with the name The Grove.
Yep.
That was I remember sitting at the loading dock when it was still below Big Lots. We met for lunch there, and we were talking about life, and we were talking about the church, and you were just like, been thinking a lot about this, and what do you think of the Grove? You gave me the definition of a shared root system.
Right.
A group, a grove of trees that all have a shared root system, and
right.
I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That defines who we are. We all have different individual abilities. Everyone in the church has something unique about them, and yet when you look beneath the surface, we're all tied into the same root system. Why is 10 years significant for the Grove Church?
I think it's a picture that the mission mattered, and God was in this.
You can have the greatest plan in the world. You can have enough money. You can go into it with a great team, but if God isn't in it, then there's nothing there. So we started with none of that.
Yeah.
We didn't have any money or people.
We had you, Mike.
Well, sometimes it's all you need. We just started with a belief that God wanted a church here.
Yeah.
We're part of a plan that God has orchestrated, and that it continues.
Yeah.
You know, whatever happens with the church.
Yeah.
What I really like about that is the fact that the people's lives were changed.
Yep.
You know, and that's a forever thing.
Yeah.
That's not just a, here, for 10 years or 5 years or even 1 year. Like we went past that.
Yeah.
And it's not within a timeline. It's forever.
The people of the Grove are a testament to God working His plan in His time, And so 10 years is that. It's beautiful.
It's that community that gets to see, here's how I love Jesus, and here's how you love Jesus, and here's how you show that you love Jesus. And being able to see how we love Jesus and how that lives out in our lives over a long period of time has a tremendous impact on everyone around us.
I've seen people where their faith goes beyond just being something personal to becoming a part of the corporate body. So you see people genuinely loving and caring for each other. You see people reach out if somebody's hurting. You see somebody come alongside of somebody else when they hear that maybe there's some things going on. And I've gotten the chance to see the church be the church that Jesus has called us to be.
It's a group of people who genuinely care about each other.
From all different walks
of
life.
All political stripes, all economic, every walk of life is represented here. And we all love each other.
I think a lot of people, they come from different walks of life and different aspects, and they look for that, and they long for that, but they don't know how to find it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see that when people come in, even just for the first time, when they do see that, they notice.
That is the most common comment that I've gotten over the years, is someone new steps in and they say, I can't believe how welcoming and friendly and warm this place is.
And that speaks volumes to the people that are here. And, and believing that the church can be a family, and that it's not a closed family but an open family, an inviting family that says, what Jesus offers us is so good, we want you to have it too.
It's not only within the church too, like the four walls. It's outside. It's watching the friendships build amongst people that may have never crossed paths. And watching them, get together and walk through life and then learn from each other. It's neat to see.
Again, I think that speaks to the community of the church here, the people that are here that have created a space where it's safe to love Jesus and not necessarily have all the answers, to wrestle with it, but to understand that God is big enough to handle our doubts and our questions, and that we can still serve Him and seek Him and grow up in Christ.
I look forward to what the next 10 years looks like.
As people grow in their faith, they grow because they're learning. They're not just sitting somewhere and listening to it and not putting it into practice. As we're learning and as we're putting these things into practice, it's something that's going to continue to grow and change generations for the families that are within the church.
I would think about the people, the families whose lives have been changed, who have seen Jesus and God in a different light, have found meaning and healing. I just think that what God is going to do through the people that worship here will have a greater impact than our gathering on a Sunday ever will. But what God is doing through the men and the women and the children that are a part of the Grove Church, that's going to make. I think it's going to make waves within the kingdom for Jesus. And that's the stuff that I get excited about.